On this James the Bike Guy, we're checking out something a little bit different than what we typically do. A bike that would be perfect for sessioning out on the street or hitting some dirt jumps. That's right, we're checking out the Giant STP 26. And in this video, we're gonna go into what this bike's about, the features and designs, and then of course we'll find out exactly what it weighs. So if this kind of thing is interesting to you, sit back, relax, and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this in the future. The Giant STP is a bit of a unique bike because this is going to be designed almost solely for dirt jumping and street riding. Although it's got trail-inspired geometry, as Giant would say, that would allow it to do quite a bit more than that. The focus is certainly going to be around that aspect. And the STP is going to come in two flavors. It's going to come in this geared version in front of us, as well as a single-speed version as well. So you get to choose for a small price difference between the two, whether or not you want to go a bit lighter weight with a single speed or a bit more usability with this 10-speed Deore setup. Now the front end of the bike offers 120 millimeters of suspension, some slack geometry, and a tight chainstay that should make this bike really fun to ride for those dirt jumps and street sessions. Now an interesting thing about it is it's going to be in a 26-inch wheel, which is something we're not seeing too much on bikes anymore, but is actually pretty common on dirt jumpers. Now it does come in some smaller sizes for kids, but the bike we're checking out here is a size medium adult version, where it comes either medium or large size. And the STP makes for a pretty unique ride. The STP is going to use Giant's ALU XX aluminum frame, which is a butted and shaped tubing. It's going to have internal cable routing with an 1.125 to 1.5 head tube. Going down, you've got a threaded bottom bracket, and then in the back end of the bike is something pretty neat. So this is set up because it's the geared version with a vertical dropout, but you can also swap those dropouts to be a horizontal setup and swap the bike back to single speed if you so chose. And then the rest of the bike is really showing to be designed in a way that should make it a bit more durable and a bit stronger. And the geometry is going to be very progressive as well. So the numbers are going to sound a little bit steeper than you'd expect, but keep in mind this is a 26-inch wheeled bike, which means the angles are not the same as a traditional 29er. So here you're going to have a head tube angle of 67 degrees and a seat tube angle of 73.5. And then the chainstay length is going to be 17.1 inches with a reach of 14.7 inch in this size medium we have here, or 15.8 in a size large. And so that's going to put you in a position where this should be a real fun and snappy bike to ride. Obviously it's no long and low trail bike, but that's not what this is all about. Suspending the front wheel is the Rockshox Recon Silver. This is a 120 millimeter suspension fork. It's going to be running these 32 millimeter stanchions, and you're going to have compression adjuster here from open to closed, as well as on the other side it's got an air adjustment so you can set it up to your riding style or your weight. The bike is of course Boost 15x110 up front and runs a disc brake mount. Cockpit components on the bike are going to be pretty standard, using a Giant Sport 31.8 aluminum handlebar. You're going to have a forged alloy aluminum stem. This is a 0-degree stem, so straight off of the head tube. Going back to a Giant Sport saddle mounted up on a 30.9 alloy 2-bolt seat post. The seat post does of course have a spot for you to be able to open and close the quick release, and it is internally routed for a dropper post if you wanted to add one, although most people in a dirt jump scenario would keep that rigid seat post. Drivetrain on this bike is going to be pretty neat. So it's going to come in two flavors. So first off, you can get it in a single speed setup, as you can see here. That single speed setup is going to be best for somebody who's not really using it to climb, wants a super durable, very easy to maintain drivetrain. And then the version we're looking at here is going to be a 10-speed Shimano Deore setup. So it's running a narrow wide single ring up front on this alloy crankset. And then as we go to the back, we've got the Shimano Deore rear derailleur, which this is pretty neat, using a clutch mechanism. So most of the time, older derailleurs, the chain used to bounce around quite a bit on you and it would slap into the frame. making a horrible noise as you go through. This bike is set up where you can turn on a clutch, which I'm doing right now, and you can see now the chain's not going to bounce around nearly as much. So it's going to help control some of the noise, also make sure the chain doesn't come off. And then it's running through a Shimano M4100 rear cassette, which is a 11 to 46 range. So that 1146 mated up with a 30 should give us just about as much range as you would need to be able to get back up to the top of the dirt jumps. Wheels and tires on the bike are going to be focusing on durability and grip. So for tires, we've got some Ardent 26 by 2.4s. This is a super high volume tire. It's going to be a nice mix between fast rolling, but also very grippy. And then the wheel set on the bike is using Giant's 26-inch rims. These are a double-walled rim. They're 28 millimeters of internal width. They're going to be disc brake, of course, using 14-gauge spokes with 28 holes in the front and the rear. The actual weight of the Giant Stance STP in a single speed is going to come in and weigh 28.28 pounds. The Giant STP geared in a 26-inch medium is going to come in and weigh 29.88 pounds. Thanks for joining me to check out this Giant STP. This is a pretty unique bike and I'm interested to hear what you think about it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can see more videos like this in the future.